Who am I? That's a good question. Hi, I'm Dr. Deborah Dantzler. I'm the owner of 3D Psychotherapy and Geeky Clinicians. I have been a clinician in the field of behavioral health. This year will make I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed of these grades. This year will make 30 years in the field overall, but I've been fully licensed in the state of Georgia since '08. And so I've had a really long and interesting career in this thing called behavioral health and mental health and addiction. And it's something I've always wanted to do from when I was a kid and first discovered Freud. I was like, oh my God, human behavior. I love it. I need to know what that is. And so I'm so grateful that I get to do work that I love and that I'm passionate about. But in terms of my experience and knowledge in this field, I started in the field right out of undergrad working in addiction. And I worked in a variety of treatment areas with persons with the disease of alcoholism and addiction. I worked at in methadone maintenance. I worked in partial hospitalization. I worked in psychosocial rehab. I worked in outpatient as well as residential. Then I went and I went to prison. I like to say, then I went to prison. No, I worked for a private prison that was contracted with the New York State Department of Corrections. And so worked with returning citizens on their reacclimation to society. So it was a work release program. So provided clinical support for them as they and their families as they transition back into their post incarceration life. Then after that, I moved to this state that is Georgia, and for a decade, I worked at St. Jude's Recovery Center and really learned so much and grew as a clinician and had amazing mentors. And we call it clinical boot camp. It was just such a blessing to be a part of that clinical team. And so did that for about a decade, got fully licensed, and then worked in a variety of other things. Did severe and persistent mental health for a while, assertive community treatment, intensive family intervention. Uh, Also did went back to residential treatment for homeless men and did that for some years. And then after that, came into private practice. And so I've been in private practice. Now this is coming up on, I've had the practice since 2014, but I'm coming up on, I think, um, 9 years full time. And it's grown to a group practice, and we have an amazing team of geeky clinicians that are awesome. And so that's that journey. Also have done speaking. I've served on uh, dozens of panels, spoke at various conferences. I spoke at for a conference with LPCGA. I've spoken at a conference with GACA. In the past, I taught for a little while at both Shorter University um, and University of Phoenix, taught counseling and addiction courses. So, I kind of like this stuff that I do, and I should be looking towards retirement and things like that. But as long as there's new stuff to learn and new clinicians to teach and clients to serve, I think I'll keep doing it.